Hi, and welcome to the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. My name is Chris Burris, owner of eWebstyle.
I'm Charles Lewis, your internet marketing specialist.
Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of our podcast. We are the most popular internet marketing podcast in the known universe.
On the planet.
That is,
the galaxy.
Here.
Yeah.
Wherever here may mean to you, we're the most popular SEO podcast.
Here and there, if that's the case.
There we go, yeah. Here, there, over there, everywhere. That is because of you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is podcast number 228. As usual, there's a tip right there. Podcast 228, if you're watching. There's a tip from podcast 227. The tip is, if you have hashtags that promote specific products or services, be sure to include the hashtag during your optimization on your website.
Yeah, you know, especially when you're doing social media marketing. A lot of times you want to go hashtag, I don't know, SEO podcast, right?
As an example, yeah, that's a good
or
example.
you may be doing hashtag whatever your product is, or hashtag an event, or hashtag mic check concert. There's the snub, I'll be throwing that in.
Okay.
But what you want to do is, if you're promoting that hashtag, then on any site you're using, especially your site, take the time and create a page dedicated to that hashtag. Put that hashtag in the title, put that hashtag in the description, and so that way, when people begin to search that hashtag, especially on Google, then your page that's dedicated to that product has a higher likelihood of showing up.
Yep. All right, so make sure you're optimizing for your hashtags. Our hashtag, by the way, is, in fact, hashtag SEO podcast.
Yep.
If you've got some sort of device, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Similar to the one Chuck is holding in his hand. That is the Galaxy S3.
Yeah, this is the 3.
If you've got an iPhone, it works on all of them, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting statistic from South by Southwest. I just got back from South by Southwest. I'm probably not going to do any news. We'll just kind of chat a little bit about what we saw at South by Southwest. Before we do that, let's do first. Let's give a punch in the face to Greg Took. He's actually signing in live. Thank you. He has a Bloody Mary Summit happening tomorrow. It's going to be broadcast live from a remote location unknown to all except for Greg. And he says his new mantra is mixing drinks and building links.
That's what's up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta love that. All right, here's a review we've got, and this review is 5 stars. This one is Fresh Perspectives on SEO. This is by Chim Mike from the United States. Chim Chim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just started listening, and I love this podcast. This is a great way to stay current with new SEM strategies and all the most important headlines in search. One question though, what does punch in the face mean? Is there an episode on karate that I missed? Keep up the great work, guys.
Chimma.
Yeah.
Who got the? This came to my mind. I don't remember the song by Beanie Man. Chimma. Who got the keys to my Beamer?
Chimma.
Punch in the face is equivalent to a shout out.
As you know,
yeah.
I'm thinking because he's listened. The origin, it was when Paul was in the podcast.
Yeah, podcast maybe before 100 sometime.
Yes, certainly before 100, and at some.
We're on 228 by the way, but
228 podcasts in, and I don't. It was something with a client, and somehow we were just goofing around or whatever, like we tend to do in the podcast. And he's like, "Yeah, we don't give clients shout outs. We give them punches in the face if they're happy." It was probably that angry too.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a PTIF. You may have heard that PITF, or punch in the face. Like I said, it's equivalent to a shout out or a good job or pat on the back, which is totally opposite of a or a kick in the shins.
Yep.
Right. That's you don't want to kick in the shins.
And by the way, that comes from kicking lizard, the kick in the shin. So hey, we need more salsa. You guys still tuning in. Next one, informative, and this one is also 5 stars. Printlinkonline.com is the name of it. Discovered by
Link Online. Okay.
Printlinkonline.com. Discovered by listening to these guys, my SEO firm is not cutting the mustard. The podcast has the 3 E's. That's E for educational, E for empowering, and E for entertaining.
Educational, empowering, I'll take it. Print
That's
online,
awesome. Yeah.
print link. What was it?
Printlinkonline.com.
Awesome. Punch in the face to you.
Well done.
Like hook, jab, all that. That's what's up.
All right, remember.
Ain't a lot though. Name's kind of confusing.
Printlinkonline.com.
Yeah.
Makes you think.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go check it out.
Yeah, what he's doing over there. Hey, please remember, we are your friendly local neighborhood top position snatches.
Yes.
Where our mantra is,
Don't be a douche.
do not be a douche.
Yeah,
It's not a good look. It's not
look at
good.
all.
You shouldn't do it at South by Southwest. You shouldn't do it at the Houston Rodeo.
Well, you
just-
probably see a lot of douchey stuff
Oh.
at South by
Oh
Southwest.
man. Well, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to figure out. At one point, we're like, all right, we made some really good contacts at South by Southwest. Really good, high level, like government contacts and health insurance contacts for our client, DocResponse.com. Punch in the face to Dr. Fall. He's killing it with some great technology that's gonna, frankly,
Revolutionize healthcare.
Yeah, revolution. Frankly, give healthcare a chance. The best chance it has. Very cool. Anyway, yeah, there was all. What I wanted to figure out to do was, have you ever been to Vegas when they've got those cards and they're handing out cards and they pop them so loud it actually gets your attention. I don't know how to do that, but I was like. So after we got all those good leads, we're like, hey, let's start popping cards and see if we can just hand them out to people. So I don't know how to do that yet. Maybe next. I could whack them against each other. I don't think that's what they do.
I think it's a pluck involved.
Some sort of pluck, right? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I couldn't figure out how to do that. If you want to do us a small favor, you like our podcast, you get empowered, you get entertainment, you get education. Do us a small favor. There's 3 favors that we ask you to do. One of them has 3 steps. Go onto iTunes, create an account, write a review. If you choose to, send us an email, podcast at
e-webstyle.com.
And we'll probably give you a punch in the face as long as you're not a douche. I think that could be like mantra 2.
Yeah.
Even more confusing than the first one. Next, if you could get to our G Plus local page.
Yes.
That's where we'll ask you to do a couple of things. We've made it very easy to get to our G Plus local page. And the way to get there is e-webstyle.com/
Google plus
or /
Google plus
or /
G plus
or /
G plus.
All of those will take you to our G Plus local page.
Yes.
There's a couple things. There's one I remember to do, write a review, or remember to ask you to do, write a review. And there's a couple that I forget. Charles always reminds me.
After you write us that review, put us in a circle and give us a +1.
Yep. Next, you could go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/
eWebstyle.
When you get to our Facebook page, there's, on every page, business page, you have a
they just kind of, I had to look at that. Facebook just launched a whole new format,
layout,
whole new layout.
right.
Yeah, so they kind of shifted everything to the right side and made some changes in the top area as well. So review tab is going to be somewhere.
Yeah, when you find it,
leave us a review.
And we actually have 2 review tabs. There's one built into Facebook, and then there's another kind of app that enables you to write a review. You could do one, both, all of them, none of them, whatever. Just make sure you follow us. There's a number of ways to follow us. Twitter.com/
eWebstyle.
Facebook.com/
eWebstyle.
YouTube.com/
eWebstyle.
and send us an email, podcast at
e-webstyle.com. And he always forgets Instagram, so I'm going to take this time to remind you. Follow us on Instagram. At eWebstyle. That way, add that.
I got to add Instagram, yeah.
You probably add that at 2:20, but
Yeah.
follow us at Instagram. We take plenty of cool in-office photos, and you'll likely see some just all kind of stuff on there, internet marketing related. We have a lot of fun with it. So
Very cool. Remember, we have a referral program. You send us an SEO client. We send you a check after they pay us. You can get a free website analysis. To get a free website analysis, all you need to do is go to our website, e-webstyle.com, and you will find a link or a form or something to get you that free website analysis. We're running a little bit behind on those as usual. So if you've got something that's a little pressing, send us an email. Give us a call. You can actually call us. 713-592-6724.
we should put that on here.
Yeah.
Phone number.
Yeah, maybe instead of hashtag Pi Day. By the way, today is Pi Day, 3.1419175. I could just write off a ton of other numbers.
And it would still matter.
No one would never know.
And it'd still be correct, probably.
Yeah.
Then it was cool in Austin. They had it in the sky.
Yeah.
I'm going to find that picture. I saw it online. I saw it on the news this morning, too. They had it in the sky, 3.14, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
blah.
That's cool.
What pilot took that time, right?
Right. Oh, so they wrote it.
They wrote it in the sky.
In smoke.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So I've got news, but I was in South by Southwest. It was a great time. All right, we were working a booth. Again, shout out to punch in the face to Dr. Fall. He's coming up with it's a software and an app. We've been working on it for the last 2 years. We're the company that's done the coding. Yeah, more than that. He's been working on it because we kind of adopted that project. working on the marketing, working on the programming that's behind it. And really, the important thing is people have got, it's a questionnaire process that recreates the inpatient experience.
Yeah, like a virtual doctor's office visit, literally.
Yep.
Except you don't have to get in your car, you don't have to go to the doctor, you don't have to pay a copay. You can actually go through the process of answering questions that your doctor would ask you, and more important, get an extremely accurate diagnosis of what your issue may be.
Absolutely, yeah. Chuck's been working on the internet marketing for it, so. The thing that really stands out and really expresses how much of an impact this is going to have on healthcare. 34% of the people who went through our process, the doc response process, decided not to go to the doctor or emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and one other statistic: the CDC and the U.S. Census Bureau says that 25% of people who go to the doctor leave without a prescription and without a procedure. Mm-hmm. So somewhere between 25% that the CDC and U.S. Census say and the 34% of the people who went through our process, those are people who should not be in the system, should not be wasting a doctor's time. Right now we have 40,000 too few doctors, and we're bringing on, it's 34 million new subscribers with the Affordable Health Care Act. So we're in a bind.
Yeah,
we
have a bottleneck here. So the Affordable Health Care Act, insurance was necessary. Unfortunately, when you flood a system full of people who need services but don't have adequate supply of doctors who are willing to accept that service at a lower price point, you get a bottleneck. And we've created Dr. Fall, with the help of eWebStyle, kind of created a product that can help open that bottleneck some and get a lot of those people out of the line who may not need to go to the doctor at all.
Yep, absolutely. So excellent, amazing product. We had really good reception. I saw Shaq. If you're following us on our Facebook page, again, facebook.com/eWebStyle. I saw a picture of Shaq. It was hilarious. I'm like, hey, Dr. Fall, there's Shaq over there. And like, I don't see him. And I say, see really high the shoulder, so it's already above everyone's head, just his shoulder. You saw the slope of his shoulder. It's like, wow, okay, yeah, that's Shaq.
Man, if we could have got an Instagram video of him saying, "Doc response," in the Shaq voice, right?
Yeah,
that would just be pretty cool.
Man. So also, as we were setting up our booth, Mark Cuban walks by. I was like, I tweeted that or Facebooked that. That was like the start, right? And the whole event was amazing. We actually, Dr. Fall had a very interesting conversation with a guy by the name of Stephen Wolfram. He's actually Wolfram Alpha. Mathematica. He wrote the Mathematica software. Wolfram Alpha. He's got an incredibly good. He did a TED talk, and at that TED event was voted the best speaker, like the most important talk for that. Yeah,
because a lot of TED Talk. That's impressive.
The real deal. And it was very interesting to see them debate their different perspectives of the healthcare and how Doc Response could actually influence going forward. Man, just an amazing event. So and so sorry that some drunk idiot ended up plowing into a crowd of people.
Yeah, so rest in peace to those people who lost their lives, those people who are injured. Man, you're in our prayers. Like that really sucks.
Yeah.
It really does.
Really does. All right. Let's see. I did reviews. We're going to use that for the news. So there was one other thing. And this is, man, I can't believe I almost forgot this. Hung out with Dean Calhoun, right? He's
punch in the face to Dean.
Punch in the face.
Long-time podcast listener, eWebStyle fan, just great guy.
Did you see the picture, the one we got with the
I did not see the
So
picture.
on our Facebook page, you go on there and you can see we got a classic punch in the face image, punching Dean in the face, he's punching me in the face. It's really awesome. We got to hang out with him. He's an incredibly cool guy, as of course all of our podcast listeners are probably going to be. And one of the things that he mentioned, and he had mentioned a long time ago that was probably worth bringing up, was schema data as it relates to putting your website on Facebook. And it's funny that he mentioned this, and I'll cover this in a sec, what it actually is and why you should be concerned about it. It's funny that he mentioned it because I know I did it a long time, probably more than a year and a half ago for our site. And what it is when you go to share something on Facebook or put a wall post or whatever it is, I think it's share, and you type in a URL, it actually starts pulling images
from your site,
from the site, from that web, specifically
from
the web
that
page.
URL that you put in.
Exactly. By the way, when I do doc response, it shows an old image, an old logo.
Old logo.
Image.
Yeah,
I don't even know where that is. Anyway, so what you can do is you can actually put schema data and define the image that you would
want
like to
Facebook to
use.
show.
Yeah. And so that's probably worth doing. So if somebody else, hopefully you're out there putting out content that people want to share, and maybe they want to share it on their Facebook page, Twitter account, whatever. And by taking the time to do that schema, maybe making a separate image that, whatever, in the extreme case it might say welcome Facebook or we like Facebook or whatever, and is branded. Make sure that you're controlling that image, because.
But definitely, we'll talk about schema in today's content.
Oh,
but speaking on that, take advantage of it, because it's not just for Facebook. You can do that for LinkedIn and any other social sites that allow you to place links in, and they automatically pull content using schema markup. You can definitely control what content is shown over there. That kind of goes into the whole knowledge graph situation, but. Yeah, definitely take advantage of it.
Yeah, so again, punch on the face of Dean. It was great hanging out with you. Great spending time with you. And password the GPS Kurt. Thank you for getting us around. Around. Oh, by the way, in Austin, it's called South by. Yeah, it's not South by Southwest. It's just South by. And it's funny.
They're already in the Southwest.
Yeah. So it's funny. My wife didn't know the real name, so she was saying, "Yeah, he's at South by South." So no, you gotta cut. You add a word
to the wife.
Yeah, add a word or cut off a word.
Yeah, one of the two. But yeah, you can't be over and under.
That was cool. So man, good times. We will be back at South by Southwest next year, or South by, and then we'll maybe broadcast, or we'll at least kind of check out the booths. It was actually pretty good. I was a little actually, you go there and that's where they launched Twitter, so you're kind of looking for. I don't know. You probably the launch of Twitter at South by was as small as having a booth, and people saw it and liked it and started using it, and not this kind of. You have this picture, since it's such a massive entity now, that it was like this grand opening with balloons and clowns.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a few people. They started small.
Yep.
And I started back then. That's why I was able to get Chuck.
Yep.
Because we knew some of the guys who were doing it, and so. Yeah, I mean that's the perfect venue. South by Southwest is that venue. It's not really that venue. It's not like a SES or SMX or these other, PubCon and these other marketing conferences where you go to kind of get some knowledge and hopefully get new clients. South by Southwest is more of a venue to go to debut a new product
and share innovation.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe see what's new is going on. Do some promo and things like that, because likelihood of you landing new business per se is minute at that point.
Yeah, I think so. One thing to check out this was actually incredibly cool. Post-it notes was there. They have a partnership with Evernote. What a genius kind of partnership.
Yeah.
Anyway, they had set up a filming booth, a big glass enclosure filming booth, and were filming people. People would kind of submit their information and say, "This is my company, my revolutionary idea." They would slot them in an hour and give them about 15 minutes of video time after kind of brainstorming about what they should say, that kind of thing. And so Dr. Fall actually got on there. So if you go to postitideahq.com, scroll down, you'll see a dude with glasses who's got a Doc Response t-shirt on. Go check that out and give us some feedback. We need to add
stay
that to
tuned.
the
We'll
Facebook.
just Facebook it.
Yeah.
We'll make that a whole lot easier, because I can't remember the URL he just said, and so I know you can't. So yeah, we'll make that a lot easier, and we'll post it.
So
for
that
you.
one's facebook.com/docresponse.
Yeah. There you go.
Cool. All right. Well, that's a lot of potatoes for today. Let's get into the meat.
Well, the meat is pretty good today. I wasn't on Search Engine Journal this time. Wasn't on Search Engine Land. I actually went back to Moz. Wanted to look up some information, and while I was there, I came across this article: 12 ways to increase traffic from Google without building links, by Cyrus Shepard. So punch in the face to Cyrus. Great article. He has some great tips in here, and so let's dig into it. His first one, he says, in-depth articles. And so again, we're talking about ways to increase traffic from Google without building links, which, by the way, let me say this is extremely important, because I think Google has kind of an attack on link building, if you will. I mean, they have new link networks in Germany that have been shut down. They're targeting another one in Italy. And so if link building is still a significant part of your optimization process, then you definitely want to pay attention to what we're going to discuss today, because you're going to need to develop some new ways to continue your SEO. I'm not saying that they're killing link building, but you have to be very strategic with it. And so with that, create some in-depth articles. And by in-depth, we mean articles that, I say that that usually include how-to articles. Those are great for in-depth because they give you an opportunity to create tons of content and lots of pages. Maybe you have a product or a service you're promoting. And if that's the case, then an in-depth article would include how to use that product or service, or maybe the best usage from it. Or even if you can get some examples of people using it, these are the type of things you can use to create enough content to create an in-depth article. He goes on to say that make sure you include your authorship setup. If your in-depth article is extremely long, then use your pagination. That's a good thing to use, because now you end up with multiple pages with great content, right? So take advantage of writing good content. I think the key thing about in-depth articles is that the content is actually valuable, right? You don't want a whole long page full of blah 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 or want want, because then you'll get a bounce and now you don't have an in-depth article, you have some garbage. So don't do that. Number 2.
So maybe a mantra is that don't write garbage.
Don't write garbage.
Don't serve garbage. Yeah.
Number 2, improve your user satisfaction. And so what does that mean? I put, get better conversions. At the end of the day, if you create a page and that page is getting traffic and that page is actually converting, meaning maybe it's a product page and people are actually clicking add to cart after reviewing this product, or maybe it's a page about a service and people are filling out a contact form or sharing this page or converting, then that means these users are likely kind of satisfied with this page. Maybe it's a blog post and maybe people are getting tons of comment, tons of user generated content. Then that's usually an indicator that people are satisfied with that page. However, if you post a page and that page has a high bounce rate, people are not sharing it, they aren't commenting on it, then that page has no satisfaction, has no value, and will not rank. And so make sure that the pages you create give the user some sort of satisfaction when visiting that page. Number 3, rich snippets and structured data. Right,
yep.
As we were talking about earlier. One thing that stands out to me about rich snippets is not only what we were discussing earlier in our potatoes about the fact that you can control what's being shown on other sites when your URL is posted, but from a search engine, a SERP page perspective, search engine results page perspective, though that rich media works great for like products and events and things like that. Like if you want your event to show up in the Google carousel, you have to be using rich snippets.
Yep.
It just works that way. So take advantage of it. Use it the correct way, because you can be penalized for overusage of it, and using it the wrong way will have an adverse effect. So be careful with it. Google put some tools out. I can't think of the name of the tool. I'll post it, but where you can go and actually kind of give you some tutorials on how to use the markup language, structured data markup. Number 4, video optimization. This is key. Videos are showing up more and more in the top 4 listings on the search results page, and so if you have a video, optimize that video. Because most likely there are other videos that are similar to yours that compete with yours that are posted. And so in order for your video to have the highest likelihood of being shown, you have to optimize that video. So similar to what we were saying earlier with the hashtag optimization, do your videos the same way. What does that mean, Chuck? That means, let's say you have a video and it's titled, I don't know, SEO podcast.
Right.
Then maybe I will put it on a page on my site that's titled
SEO podcast.
Exactly. Maybe the meta description on my SEO podcast is the same description that's in my YouTube video description, right? Maybe it's a blog post, and so maybe on my tag cloud I gave that post several tags. I will use those same tags on my video, right? And so that way that page and that video likely will rank for the same search phrase, which is whatever that target phrase is. Optimize your videos.
I think it was SEO podcast.
SEO podcast. Exactly. So you definitely want to optimize your videos. More importantly, if your video is informational, right? And there's a lot of content. Take the time to have it transcribed. Google can already transcribe it, but take the time to transcribe it and put that transcription in your description. I think that's a great place for it.
Yeah.
There's tons of content relative to the video and increases your likelihood of being found. Video optimization. That's one of a key tactic to improving your traffic from Google without building links.
Yep.
Number 5, Google authorship. This is another one of those things that I feel Google kind of threw out broad
Yeah.
and then quickly scaled back.
Right.
Because remember when they first did it, it was like the wild west of authorship.
Right.
Everybody was doing it, and there were miniature avatars showing up all
the
over.
place, yeah.
But now, especially for U.S. based searches, I don't see many.
Yep.
I don't see many at all. Now, for other ones, like we have a couple UK clients, I see their authorship all the time.
Right.
And so the key to is not just setting up authorship, but actually being active on Google Plus.
Yep.
Right. Make sure you're getting shares
On that author account.
on that particular author account.
Right, so
definitely.
it's not about being active on your business page or your G Plus local page. If you want your authorship to show up, your author,
Yeah.
whoever that may be, maybe it's a contract person or whatever, it needs to be active on your
Yeah,
on
they
your
need
G
to
Plus
be
page.
active getting pluses. They need to be active promoting content. They need to be active sharing other posts. And frankly, if they can be posting on other sites that have relevant content to your industry, even the better. That will increase the likelihood of your authorship showing. And so, so definitely set up the authorship. One of the things I put a check mark by that he says was use a real face. Yeah, I concur.
Yep.
You should do that. Number 6, improve your
You
site
kind of
speed.
don't have a choice on that, right?
Well, so they've changed it some.
Okay, so they're letting more logos slip through or
yeah,
whatever?
they
Okay.
let, but and I think that's because they scaled it back some.
Yeah.
And so they still won't allow you to do authorship for a company page.
Right.
You can claim it as a something you've published, but you can't be the author of it, which I still don't quite get that. But anyway,
Yeah.
you can do it. You can now add some other features, but use your face. Take a good picture, close up, smile. Right,
Yeah.
makes people want to read your article. Frankly,
Look like your audience wants you to look.
exactly. Which kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week
podcast,
about the content and speaking in the language that your users read. Right, if you're in an urban type industry and maybe your audience speaks slang, then it's okay to use slang.
So you
in
can
your
have
promo.
a sideways hat on or
Yeah,
whatever.
if that's your audience.
Yeah.
But if that's not your audience, then don't do
You
it.
probably shouldn't do it.
Exactly. Number 6, improve your site speed. This is key. We've seen, we had situations here with our own clients where they were getting a moderate amount of traffic and things were going good.
No conversions.
No conversions. Like, what's going on? So we go in, make some changes, clean up some coding, condense some style sheets, and all of a sudden, site speed goes up, ranking goes up, conversion goes up by like 30%, all because the site loaded, a couple seconds faster.
Yep.
Amazing how that works.
Yep.
But that's a key indicator of how impatient people are.
Absolutely.
And so improve your site speed. That's extremely important. And frankly, site speed is one of Google's top algorithm ranking components. And so the faster your site is, you have a higher likelihood of outranking your competitors. Number 7, smartphone SEO. I just wanted to put a big duh by this one. Make sure that your site is optimized for mobile. I put next in a star, go responsive. Right now, in some cases, responsive may not be what's best. Maybe you may need a little bit more control over the look and feel. And if that's the case, then do a mobile version of your site if you need that level of control. But if not, if you just want to make sure your site works on like a mobile device or a tablet, then make sure you build it in a responsive way so that way you can take advantage of that mobile traffic.
Yep.
Number 8, expand your international audience. Now, this, of course, won't apply to everybody. If you're a local service, then you probably won't get much international traffic. But if you're a nationwide service or you have products or retail especially, and you ship products, then there's a chance you probably get international traffic. The only way you can expand that audience is if you know that. And so I say, make sure you check your analytics. And one of the good things to do is when you go in analytics, you want to go to acquisition, then you want to go look at your geo and see where you got that traffic from. And if you see like countries listed, Analytics gives you an option to go to the secondary value. Check that and look at the pages that they visited.
Right.
And that's a good indicator of what your international traffic is looking for.
Right.
Once you get that information, you can do a couple things. Go optimize for that, for those pages, right?
Translate it.
Translate it.
If
I
it's a
make it
different
easier to find. Implement some structured markup and things like that. I guess really the key here into expanding your international audience is spend some time in analytics, and so you can make sure you know what to do when expanding that audience. Number 9, social annotations with G+, with Google+. This is key, kind of back to what we were just talking about with the authorship. Make sure that you're getting +1s. Make sure that you're getting comments. And hopefully, if you're posting content and that content is valuable, then other people are sharing it. Not just other people, but other influencers, other people who have a ton of +1s, other people who already have lots of people have them in their circle, other people who already have a great authorship rank. You want shares from those kind of people, because that is kind of like a link almost. Yeah. And if they're good and they're sharing your content, you must be kind of good too. Yep. So definitely get some social annotations on G+. Number 10, snippet optimization. And he's really talking about what's being shown on the search engine results page. And so this kind of goes back to some of the basics, right? Make sure your titles are 70 characters, right? Don't really go over 70 characters, because then it'll get cut off. And frankly, Google may show a different title that they feel is more relevant. Right. And you don't want to give them that kind of control. You control it. So keep it at 70 characters. One thing I added was include a CTA in your description. Yep. If possible. Right? Maybe we have a locksmith client, right? And so one of his big things is he'll be there in 20 minutes because he has several trucks roaming the city at all times. And so we put that in his meta description. So that way, when you search, you may not click. You may just see his search result on the first position, and it'll have the phone number, call now, we'll be there in 20 minutes. You can call from right there. Yeah. Frankly, on a mobile search, you can tap the phone number from the search result. Yeah. And tap the call directly from there. And so take advantage of that.
Because that was delicious,
yeah,
right?
That may be our tip. Yeah. Include the phone numbers in your meta description. Yep. And so take advantage of that, because a lot of people, I convert from search engine results page. I will look, and if people have phone numbers, especially like in paid ads, I'll call that number. Yep. Why not? I'll save you some money. I understand how pay-per-click works. And so take advantage of that. Number 11, updating with fresh content. This is key, kind of like our review said. It's educational, it's entertaining, and so you want to make sure that your content is similar. Make sure it's relevant, right? Make sure it's exclusive. Make sure it's valuable. That's fresh content. What you don't want to do is go scraping content and then repurposing it without adding value. Then you just have somebody else's content. But what you want to do is, if you have to do that, maybe you're in the industry like March Madness is coming up, right? And so there'll be all kind of, ESPN, give you some real examples. ESPN, ABC, TNT, all of these different sports sites will be talking about the same games. Right. So the score will be the same, the high score will be the same, the outcome of the game will be the same, but what's the difference? How they present the content. Yep. The attitude that they bring it from, the perspective they give. And so you have to take the same thing with your industry, especially if you're in an industry that's kind of dry. Let's say you're a plumber, right? How do you come up with fresh content for plumbing? Maybe you talk about the newest changes. Maybe
most people don't want fresh content from plumbers. Yeah. I'm just saying.
But you have to figure out what will work with your content and how you can make it appealing to your user base. Maybe people need to know that, I don't know, plastic pipes work better than copper pipes because of blah, blah, blah. Right. And then you give some reasons why. You show some examples. You do that kind of thing. So make sure it's relevant.
Because copper pipes get stolen.
Exactly, right? And so keep your content fresh. Because if you post fresh content, you'll rank well. But if you don't update it, then eventually you'll lose your ranking. Yeah, because somebody else is posting fresh content. Which kind of leads to the last one, number 12, ongoing on-page SEO. You have to keep optimizing, right? If your site is getting traffic, then keep optimizing, right? Keep adding content, keep adding pages. One of the things I like to do is update pages that already rank well. So
Yeah.
let's say you have a page that's already at the top of the SERPs and it's getting traffic, but then that same page is maybe ranking on page 2 or 3 in the search engine results for a different key phrase. Why not write some content about that key phrase and add it to that page?
Yeah.
Make a small adjustment to your title. Add that extra phrase in your meta description. And so that way this same page can now begin to rank on the first page for more than one key phrase. And frankly, if that phrase is that valuable, then spin off a whole new page of content for it. But definitely update existing pages, continue your on-page optimization, and that way you won't lose your rank. You continue to gain rank. So punch in the face to Cyrus. Great article on Moz, 12 ways to increase traffic without building links. I'll post that on Facebook and Twitter, and so you guys check it out.
Excellent. Do we have any what?
No what today?
No what? All right, you guys have been tuning in to the most popular SEO podcast on iTunes. That is because of all you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being patient through the low sound quality months.
Man.
A couple months, right?
Yeah, that was, let's see, we're at 228, so that was 180, so 45 podcasts ago?
Yeah.
Almost
while
a year.
ago. Yeah. It's good to be past that. That is definitely true. Again, punch in the face. We've got Greg who's watching live. Punch in the face to Dean for hanging out with me at South by. And until the next podcast, my name is Chris Burrows.
Charles Lewis.
Bye-bye for now.